What's up, everybody? Wanted to kind of just sit on the tailgate. I know many of you, if you are southern hunters or maybe travel to the south, you've already been turkey hunting. But here it is, early April. We're just coming off opening weekend of the Georgia season. And so in the south, many places, South Florida and up, your season comes in middle March. And now we are having an opening week of Georgia season. I know we got Tennessee and some of the Midwestern states coming in here in a couple weeks, middle April, and just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things we've been experiencing and also some of the things that can happen that you will see. Longtime friend, turkey hunting legend in my opinion, Harold Knight. Those guys back in the day, Knight and Harold and David, they come up with this stage map on are based on turkeys. And so what you a lot of times experience as you start getting into these early April months, especially in the south, keep in mind our southern weather, these turkeys have been gobbling, they've been strutting, they've been breeding. So a big percentage of the hens have been bred. A huge percentage of the hens are already starting to look toward nesting. And so after that incubation period, and once they nest the eggs, a lot of times you'll find early May, especially in the middle of May, we'll start throwing poults. So you're talking 30 days from now, you think about these hens being on nest and starting to wander off. And so what you find in early April is some of the experiences that we're running into. It's extremely tough hunting. And so as it gets into April and the woods start thickening up in the south, there's a few things I recommend. One is soft calling, and keep in mind, if you are buddy hunting, this is a great time. If you're buddy hunting, similar to elk hunting, this is the best time to use your calls and to get ahead. One person set up ahead, somebody pull back behind, because the gobblers, for some reason, whether it's through throwing spurs, whether it's fighting, whether it's just maybe they were wide open doing a lot of breeding and maybe they went through a lull, for some reason it takes a little bit of a different situation to where the turkeys become so hard-headed. They'll gobble sometimes, but then when they come to a call, they'll get out there about that 70 yards and just out of range, 70 to 100 yards, and they'll just circle you and they'll gobble, they'll strut. If you put a decoy out, what you'll find is they don't really want anything to do with the decoys. It's a really weird stage. It's a really weird social dynamic. And so what I will add to that, I don't recommend decoys when you start getting into early April. Has nothing to do with the purist and their nonsense of saying that decoys are 100%. As a matter of fact, I think if you want to get to their side of letting them win, start staking out decoys, start doing a lot more fanning, and you'll find that you'll have a lot of turkeys that'll tuck and run away and even go away. Still think decoys can work. If there was a way to put a decoy up last minute, maybe that would be good, but it's an awkward, tough stage. So I definitely highly recommend trying to set up in edges where you got a little thicker cover, where the turkeys have to come search for you, and then maybe you're getting as close as you can before you start your soft call. So tough stage. And then we've been experiencing some really tough weather. In the south, we got tornado weather usually end of March, early April. We just went through a tornado warning actually yesterday, man. The wind got up, there was a tornado about 30 minutes from us. It blew right through, and then we were right back out and we got on turkeys. But with the low pressure and these cloudy, gloomy, kind of heavy days, by rule, not the exception, but by rule, turkeys don't like to gobble. They're not as vocal. So if you're looking at those those low pressure mornings, a lot of times the turkeys don't gobble as good by the whole flock. Now you still have those turkeys that maybe lost hens, used to having some, they'll gobble good, they'll still work. You can find them gobbling in the rain. But it seems those high pressure, cold, cooler, nice, crisp mornings are the ones that turkeys are just in a better mood and they gobble a lot. Similar to now, we're just having some of this low pressure. It's the first time I've seen sun literally in 4 days. So probably going into tomorrow, the next few days, the turkey should be in a better mood. It's going to be drying out. They're going to feel better. The sun's going to be on them. But you also got to remember too, you start finding a lot of these turkeys in the thicker edges because these hens are starting to nest in the south. So anyway, I know I'm being a little redundant, but when you're looking for turkeys, just keep in mind, look for turkeys more in the thicker areas or those edges and lanes, grown up food plots on the edge of them. Those hens like to get out in the middle. Another good tip, if you are in the south, especially Georgia and Alabama, and your old deer plots have grown out and they're shin high or knee high, let them grow. Don't cut them down because you could easily disrupt the nest, and also it makes great habitat and brooding habitat for those hens to nest, especially those couple acre food plots. So leave it, but you still will find turkeys around the edge, and when those hens start nesting, those old gobblers, they'll be right there. They're hoping a coon will raid that nest because they'll be right there ready to breed that hen. So there's so many little things. The calls I'm talking about, this call I've been running a lot. This is the con artist. I hadn't talked a lot about this con artist, but I really like this particular call. It's a bat wing, and it's got light prophylactics on the bottom, and it's just a really nice raspy call. But what I like most about it is it's a great call this time of year that you can run soft. Those little raindrop yips, man, that's a tough call to kind of get mastered. But if you can master that, you'll hear those Rios out in Texas use that little raindrop, those Merriams. But even in the South, you'll hear them on the limb. It's a real soft call. A lot of times those nesting hens, they will get around the edges. Keep in mind a coon or a possum, something gets their eggs, something disrupts their situation, they will breed again. These gobblers are aware of that. So stages are important. There's no way I can sit here in this video and tell you how to identify those stages. It's an instinctive thing, but you'll know. As you start getting into later April, into those areas in the South that you can still hunt, for instance Georgia, you go into May, you'll find it starts all over again, and sometimes the hunting can be amazing. Something to remember when that happens though, the foliage has gotten really thick, so these turkeys that you hear gobbling, they're not that far. If you're walking around and you strike a turkey, typically when you strike a turkey to a turkey call, the opportunity to kill that turkey at that place is good. So a lot of times you don't have to go that far. Now if you're in West Virginia, and obviously those mountains and rolling ridges, turkeys can still be a valley over and they sound like they're on top of us. But typically in this South Georgia country and the Piedmont, if you're hearing a turkey gobbling, you strike them with a turkey call, be thinking about where that turkey's at quickly, and typically you don't have to go too far. If you think you got to go another 70 to 100 yards, you probably got a better chance of bumping that turkey. So keep in mind that the turkeys kind of fire back up. That's the time when they get their confidence, when those jakes have been beat back. That's another thing. I mentioned it in the video a couple videos before. This particular year, which I'm very excited about, every place I've hunted in Georgia, which has been up in the Piedmont area and down toward that Dothan, Blakely area, or right over from Dothan, Alabama, into that west-south area of Georgia, lots of jakes. So that is awesome. So that means we had a good hatch. Based on what I'm seeing too, we had a good hatch the year before, but we have been seeing droves of jakes. That changes everything early. When you get into early April, those jakes are getting bigger. They've been sitting around, they're starting to gobble. So you're hearing a lot of turkeys gobble, but a lot of those turkeys you're hearing gobble a couple times on roost, they could be jakes. But these 4, 5, 6 jakes, they come quick. Those are the turkeys that if you want to show them a fan or something, they're coming. So to kind of get back into the situation of why the decoys don't work for you people, and I try not to get pissed off at this, but it shows your inexperience when you talk about the guarantee of a fan, your guarantee of a strutter decoy. When you got 6 or 7 jakes running around on a food plot, do this next time. Take your fan, take your strutter, show it to those jakes, and watch how quick and how aggressive. A lot of times 6 or 7 jakes in early April will come to your decoy. Now what you need to picture is think about, obviously you're not there to shoot jakes, you're there to shoot a long-beard turkey, whether it's a 2 or 3-year-old. Now think about this one long-beard. You wonder why these turkeys coming to the call are circling. It's because they're nervous of the situation. Is that passel or pack of jakes or herd of jakes, flock of jakes in there, and when that sucker walks out in that food plot, if that's what he sees and it's a decoy, well, he sees the same thing from a situation of a gobbler, and these jakes, they come running in. And so many different times they will run them gobblers out of the field. So that gets back to what I'm saying. Listen to me. Decoys are not foolproof. As a matter of fact, in so many situations, if you're not experienced enough to read the stages, you're going to hurt yourself. I'm going to repeat it. You're going to hurt yourself, not because some mama's boy in the basement is thinking it's not cool to use a basement and it's guaranteed. It's because you're smart enough and experienced enough turkey hunter to know that you're only going to hurt yourself with any type of gobbler decoy. You hurt yourself, period. That's where you want to call soft, and that's where if you got a buddy that's a good caller, you're better off to move up ahead in the lane to where when this turkey is hearing this call, you're already 50, 60 yards, similar to elk hunting. And when that turkey starts to hang up and he's coming down the bush hog trail or the 2-track or the edge of the clear cut or edge of the food plot, you're gonna toast him. But if he comes in, you stick up a decoy many times, you're gonna hurt yourself. When you start realizing the situation changes and maybe certain turkeys become more dominant, they become less subordinate, that's when you can up your game and decoys work again. But again, nothing is foolproof. If everything was foolproof and these people were so experienced as they think they would be able to be successful every time, because you can't do it, whether it's with a call, whether it's slipping around. Turkeys get in different stages and they become difficult. I talk about bass fishing and compare it to bass fishing, compare it to turkey hunting. The good bass fishermen always figure out a way to catch bass. Kevin Van Dam will have good days and bad days. Jesse Wiggins, good days, bad days. Overall, they very rarely get skunked. A really true experienced turkey hunter, no matter what stage they're in, if there's turkeys on a piece of ground, even if they're silent, they have tactics and ways. They might have to revert to setting still with no decoys in a food plot and deer hunting them. They can go back to the turkey call, soft calling. When turkeys are in a stage to where they're really gobbling and really coming, decoys, calls, you name it, everything works. You're gonna get about 3 days in a turkey season that the weather's good, everything lines up with the staging, and you can kill turkeys like crazy. As a matter of fact, if you're looking to kill 2 or 3 turkeys off your property, that day that you get them in the right circumstance, I'm convinced you could kill 2 or 3 turkeys in one day within hours of each other. No different than when the crappie are spawning, take a jig and just casting 50, 60 crappie. Now you let that go past that. So turkeys are the same way. And anybody that don't understand that says one thing works all year, it just proves their ignorance and proves that they don't know near as much and they don't have any experience in it near as much as they think they do. So I'm saying that with experience. Everything can work. You can pick and choose. If you're in a stage and the turkeys ain't working and you got to set in a food plot to kill one, then that's the time to set it out. If you're in a situation to where the turkeys are henned up and the only way to kill a big gobbler is with a fan or a gobbler decoy, and that ain't how you want to kill them, then set it out. But you got to be smart enough to know the stage. If you're in a situation where everything works and you want to kill them with a call, figure out the stage. And if you think you know and you're one of those purists that says, I'm only going to kill them this way, well, go talk to an experienced turkey hunter and he'll tell you when you go to the woods. Why do you think I got Jesse Wiggins on speed dial? Because I like to fish, I like to catch fish, but I don't want to go out there every day when I get my butt kicked. So when I call Jesse and say, hey man, are the fish baiting on Lake Hardin? What are the fish doing? Are they up on the banks? Are they under the docks? And he tells me to get a wacky rig. That's when I fish, because you see, I ain't beating my chest. When the pros tell me that the fish are biting, that's when I fish. And I want to catch them on a wacky rig. I want to catch them on no white rooster tail. But guess what? They don't always bite that. Sometimes it takes hours and hours to find them. And so it's same with turkeys. Turkey hunting is an art. And the only way you can be good at the art is you understand every little bit of paint that could go on the canvas. You can decide what colors, but there's a whole palette of colors. You decide what to put on there. But what makes a beautiful painting, what makes it great, is you have every element that you can bring to it. You might decide to go black and white with your art, but you still have a variety of colors. To be truly experienced as an artist, you need to be able to paint all kind of portraits, landscape, and use all the color. That's my job. That's what I want to do, and I want to share it with you guys. So I'm not speaking out of ignorance. I'm not speaking here to sell you anything. I'm just telling you where the turkeys are at, where they've been, and it's been tough. We finally killed a turkey. 4 days of hunting. It was tornado weather, raining weather, and we, when I say we killed, my son McCoy, he got a turkey. My buddy Ike Rainey, he got one right off roost, and we just killed one this morning actually that worked good. A little soft hen yups. Turkey never gobbled one time on the roost. I was discouraged and I heard spitting and drumming, soft called, and our buddy Kenny, he cracked one. So anyway, A little bit of what's happening in April with a little bit of rant. Man, we love y'all. Hope y'all have a great turkey season. We're going to keep posting certain things. If y'all don't mind, subscribe. And let us know what you want to hear. Please make a comment. Even the haters, you leave a comment. The people who understand what we're talking about, please leave a comment. And all the people that's trying to fill a turkey tag with your kids, with your wives, by yourself, whether you're hunting public or private, get after it. Last thing I'll leave on decoys, which don't want to talk too much on it, but I will tell you this, why and when I do use decoys the most is if I've got a young hunter that don't need a turkey coming through in transition looking for a call. Sometimes those turkeys walking through, for us experienced hunters, handy with a shotgun, there's turkeys gobbling, coming, you can just shoot them. Sometimes decoys are really nice, a hen or even a little jake decoy, because if they bite on it, now you still got the chance of them turning and walking away, but if they bite on that decoy, they come in sometimes right to those decoys and give a stationary still target. So if you got a young hunter, maybe it's your wife who wants to hunt but still kind of shotguns heavy, that's when I would recommend decoys the most, because even if they're working good coming to a call, they're coming and they'll walk right by you and you got to shoot a moving turkey. And not always, but by rule, turkeys in transition, looking and searching, it's a little tougher. You have to have a little bit more experience on the shotgun. So anyway, that's it for me right now. Happy April, happy turkey season. Love you guys. Can't stop the flop. Be sure to download MOTV. Check that out. We got our brand new season 6. It's streaming live on My Outdoor TV, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Let us know what you think. See you guys.